It's your boy Justice John for Filmmaker Stuff, and I've had a lot of requests coming in for this particular video, how I created the guide for the basketball. And now I want to show you guys quick simple step how you can achieve this. So right now I will take it to the very basis where I can show you guys the full project itself. And let me just expand that real quick. Yeah, so we've got about 40 seconds of clip here. I've only just how do you call it, picked out a portion of it just to show you guys. Whatever else is going on is just replicating the same design I've done for the first base. So to achieve this, what I've done is let me just minimize this back to normal, restore. Okay, let me start with the laser. All right, so first, to create the laser, what I did was I literally went in and created a new solid. I'm gonna just take you guys through that step real quick. But before I do that, it's a simple masking. If you know how to mask with After Effects, you should find this pretty easy. I'm gonna tap MM on my keyboard. That will bring up my masking properties, and you can see what I've got here. I've got the keyframe for every time the ball, progresses towards the net. You can see the ball, travels along with it. So yeah, there's not much difficulty to that. All you need is the Saber plugin and a little knowledge of After Effects. So once I show you guys how I've done that, most of you might not have the plugin. So if you want me to make another tutorial based on creating this and using, how would I call it, using brush stroke to create the guide, I can do that for you guys. Also, that should introduce a little bit of glow. But with the Saber, I've got all that information here on the side. As you can see, I've got the glow settings. I left everything as normal when it comes to that. But if I were to recreate this using the brush strokes, to recreate this using the brush strokes, I would need to, create another video for that. So let me know in the comments, yeah? Now let's jump in and let me quickly show you guys how we can create this little video we did earlier. Okay, first let me start with a fresh composition and then leave it as normal. Call that test guide. And as you can see, we've got a new comp. The next move is to create a new layer. I'll make that a solid. The color doesn't matter because I'll show you guys how to get rid of the background, everything. So the first thing I want to do is I want to create the masking. So if I pick up my pen tool here, I can, for the sake of the showing you guys this tutorial, let me just create just a simple guide from A to Z, just like that. So as you can see, what we've got is a trail. I've already created a trail. Now how it progresses is up to you and your ball, how your ball is moving. So you've got to follow the trail which your ball already gives you on the way to the net. Or if you're going to do this with any other concept, maybe a hand movement or whatever you want to create with it, I'm sure you can get creative. I'll leave that up to you. So now the next step, I'll bring in my Saber plugin from Video Copilot. And straight away, you can see the Saber pops up, and I will go into the customize call, switch the Saber to layer mask, and now we now have it following the mask itself. Okay, I chose the blue. You can always change the color to whatever you desire. So all you need to do is tap the glow color, and I will switch this to any color I want it to be, whether it's green, blue, red, whatever. You are literally able to do any of that. So the next part now for this, I will look at it from a different angle, getting rid of the background. So what I do is you drop this render settings and you come down to the section which is the composite settings. Yeah, that's what it is. Change that to transparent, and if I click this button right here, which is called a transparency guide, Ignore that. So anyways, back on this. As you can see, we got rid of the background. It's just the trail, the neon looking glowing light. I love it. Now I can move on to make it animate. So how do we make it animate? Here it is. Double tap MM. Well, you gotta select your layer first. Remember to select the layer, then MM to bring up the masking information. Um, if I put a stopwatch from this section from the start, that could be the end of my video. But just a second before we get into that, I want to show you guys two definitions here. So let me duplicate that layer 1 second and minimize that. Now let me take you guys through the first base, and I can show you another base you can try out if you ever get your hands on the Saber, or if I do come up with a second tutorial, I will show you guys more information about this. So now let me begin. I bring on the masking information. Now when I tap this stopwatch, I've got a keyframe which I can take all the way forward, and then in the beginning I can just go and grab, let's say I want this to be the start, so I can grab this and bring it right all the way to the end here, and boom, we're taking it back to the start. And then I need to just adjust that by moving the parameters within the keyframes. So I just want it to get smaller and disappears. There we go. Now if I had a ball, I would do it frame by frame to try and keep the guidelines following the ball all the way. But we've not got a ball in this essence, so what I'm doing instead is I needed to just follow just one trail, just to get the information, give you guys an idea of what I'm trying to show you. And you can see it's quite easy. There you go. You've got that is weird. Okay, this is what you can do, more extra masking to get it to flow nicely. So to do that, this is what I can show you guys. So let's pretend there is a ball. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do that for you guys. Let's quickly create a, a solid and switch the color to white. If you want to practice along with this, you can follow along and do this stuff, but you don't necessarily have to. Just learn it and create something with it. It's up to you. So now I can bring in my eclipse tool, and I will punch out a perfect circle. If you hold down the alt button, or let's say the shift, it will let you get the perfect circle without breaking the, how would you call it, the smoothness. All right, so now we've got a ball, and I'm gonna make that ball travel from point A to point B, and the way I want to do that is pretty fast. Remember what we talked about, the masking and stuff like that? We don't need to do that with the masking. You can do that with the position. So to get to the position, select the layer and press P. Now position comes up, and I will grab that, move my key here all the way to the end. And when I get to the middle, I want to sort of like get it to go up, not just like a perfect straight circle. I want it to go up. Now the next phase is we're going to make the information for the keyframes, so that they can move very nice and not look all laggy like that. So if I select this section here, it's called a graph editor. So the graph editor brings out this information where I can smooth out my animation. So far so good, so far so good. So if you come under the keyframe assistant, and let me see, you've got more information you can experiment with. You got editing values, but first of all you need to understand After Effects scripting to know how to edit values. Today's tutorial is not about any of this. We're not going to visit this, but if you guys are curious and want to know what these things are, let me know, and I will probably try them out and let you guys know what's up. So now Easy ease. I want an easy ease for this information. You can see the bend we've created there. Now that ball will not move smoothly, but still it's manageable for the essence of what we're creating right now. Okay. Let me bring that down to half so that we can have a quick render. So you can see the ball is not going straight, it's not going forward, it's just going on a nice C, like a rainbow. That's the word. It's going on a nice curve. See, can you hear me? Oh, that was weird. That ball moving weird. Anyways, we're not doing that perfection today. Now let me move to the main thing I'm trying to show you guys, creating the guidelines. Now we're gonna make these guidelines follow the ball trail. And to do that, simple as A. Remember what I told you from the start, it's all about masking. So if you've got the mask and we've got the trail starting from point A, now we move forward and we progress with that. So first of all, I need to just select my entire masking here. And I'm going to move it just behind the ball, just right there. And now when I move forward, you can see the masking is basically progressing. But I don't want that. So I'm going to take away the end point. I know, crazy ideas, but it's going to work. Just watch this. So if we come in here, we've got those two masks. Remember, we squashed them both together. So now we need to separate them like so, which is quite easy. I don't know if you know how to use After Effects. This should be a breeze. This shouldn't be like a struggle. You know, when you're doing After Effects, it's supposed to be fun, nothing tedious that makes you feel like you're punishing yourself. So if you're feeling like it's difficult, maybe you still need to study more about After Effects and keep, you know, applying that knowledge and keep building around it. Once upon a time, I used to shut down this software, and sometimes I just open it, stare at every key in that thing. I didn't know what to press, and I would just go off. But the more I kept doing it, the more eager I got into it, and I started learning. So it's all about time, consistency, and perseverance. So you've got to keep that check. Now, while I'm telling you this, as you can see, I'm also doing the keyframing. I call that a bit of multitasking. I'm not saying I'm a good multitasker. I suck at it, but I'm trying my best. So here, if I show you guys this trick, try it out, create something with it, send it to me. I definitely might give it a shout out because I like when people create, you know, stuff that I can work with. So you should definitely give it a shot and let me know. Yeah, so the mistakes I've made so far, you can see I've made a lot of mistakes, and that could probably push you all the way to the start again. And that's the whole process of learning. Make a mistake, you fix it, and you try again. Don't ever panic. When you panic, you lose it, and you're an idiot. Always keep your cool. Alright, so let's take it from step one, and I want to curve it. Before it was just going straight, so I want to just curve it so that there's a direction, there's a sense of curve between the movements. Now I move that up into the circle again and kind of make the curve look realistic. So we're still going, we're still leaping. It's like it goes all the way like a rainbow, a curve, a C curve, I would say, or a bracket. So guys, yeah, what's it called? Quick thing to tell you guys while I'm doing this. If there's a particular tutorial that you guys want to see, or you've seen an effect on my community page and you want me to make a tutorial for that, let me know. Drop a comment and I would definitely make it happen. Alright, so what I'm doing here is going to be a rough patch. It's not going to be perfect, but you know, it gives you the idea of what I'm talking about, what I'm making here. We're almost there. Oopsie, that's a bad idea. Don't move that. Always be careful with the keyframe points. Tend to jerk around. And we get into the end. Here we go. So now I can, bend that up slightly more, just to bring in a little bit more curve. And yeah, I think that's the end of the ball now. Okay, quick render. After Effects is doing what we call rendering right now. So there we go. It's not smooth, it's not perfect, but I'm just doing this quick basic stuff so you guys can get the idea on how to make this. And if you still do not understand how this is possible, let me know. And like I said before, if you guys don't have access to Saber plugin and you want to have me do the same tutorial for you guys using brush strokes, and that will be it for this tutorial. You guys asked about the guide, and you didn't really ask about the portal. So as a bonus, I want to show you guys real quick how that is possible, and I'm ending this tutorial because we've gone over the time limit. So the portal was basically the same process. I'm using the same Saber but with a different settings, which I'm using like an energy, or let me take you guys to the main comp so you can really understand this. Okay, so the first time we've got the ball traveling out of the portal and landing in the bowler's hand. So we've got the portal there, we've got the ball, coming through. Yeah, so this, I'll quickly just brush through what is happening right here. The first plugin we're using for this is Light Wrap. So the Light Wrap, what I did was I cut out the basketball itself using masking, and by doing so, it allows me to wrap the light that's coming from the portal itself into the composition layer. So now that I've done that, I also did a little bit of animation. So if I click UU, you see the animation which progresses to show the ball emerging from the portal, and then the light kind of like illuminating all over it, then somehow casting a shadow as it evolves from it. So yep, that's the simple steps of how I did that. And also, if you notice, you see a little bit of chromatic displacement going on, and that's because I used a plugin from Red Giant. It's a pretty dope plugin as well, and it allows you to do some magical stuff. I would say that it's called chromatic displacement. If I click the layer, I'll show you guys real quick. So there, and as I directed it to the portal flame looking effect that I've created. And let me just switch that off and you see exactly what it looks like. So you see that's the portal there. You see the warp, the chromatic displacement is present. And with the flame, we've got it all locked in. And guys, that's how I created that. If there's any question you've got, leave it in the comments. Anyways, stay blessed, and I will see you guys on the next tutorial.